So there we have it. Steve Borthwick has named his 36-man squad ahead of the Six Nations. So first of all, congratulations to all those who've been selected. And of course, Maro Itoje, the new England captain. So congratulations to him. Now, a lot of people were going, why are they suddenly changing it? Jamie George was captain, of course, named as England captain after Owen Farrell stepped away from the England international scene. And then Jamie slotted in. He's done the last 12 months. He's a great leader. I think for a lot of the public and a lot of people, I feel like they've always sort of seen Maro as a long-term solution to England's captain. And I think even as a youngster, I think at under 20s level, he was captain, I believe. And I think for a long time, everyone's always said that, you know, at some point, I'm sure he will captain the national side. So congratulations to him taking over. And I mean it. I don't think it's any reflection of Jamie George at all. I think it's more of a fact they want someone that's going to be out there for the 80 minutes and help England get over the line in those last 10, 15 minutes, which England have probably struggled with and not necessarily had that leadership, I suppose, on there at the back end of the games. So that's my take on that. So when I think of Maro's leadership, you know, he made his debut 9 years ago against Wales when Eddie Jones rolled him out. And to think of all the experience he's had between then and now, you know, he's gone on Lions tours. He's rubbed shoulders with great leaders and captains. So he'd have got a huge amount of experience, of course, for years of being at Saracens, working along the likes of Owen Farrell, who in my opinion was a fantastic captain. So he's seen all these great leaders and rubbed shoulders with them. So he'll still put his spin on it. Now, if I take myself into that change room, Maro's a guy that plays with a lot of energy. You know, you look at him before a scrum, he's geeing every up in the team. You know, when he's getting like the momentum of game swinging, you can see him like the Maro clap. Everyone knows about the Maro. You know, he's a guy that tries to bring a lot of enthusiasm to the game, a lot of energy to the game. So, you know, expect more of that, definitely. So Maro's humble enough to go to someone like Marcus Smith and say, what do you think? You know, can you take this kick? Won't have all the answers, and he's aware of that. And then in terms of his talking, you know, he's a very calm presence. So he's not someone that's going to be screaming and shouting and barking orders and demanding things in terms of a real aggressive way, a real sort of, when you think of like the 97 Lions clips of Martin Johnson talking and Lawrence Delalio and guys like that, like he's not Keith Wood. He's not that type of like yelling, like really, he's a very calming sort of detailed, this is what needs to be done, X, Y, Z, let's go get it. So that's what he'll bring. The one big omission, well, there's a few, but in my opinion, the biggest omission of them all, of course, is the Sheriff, Dan Cole, my co-host for the Love of Rugby. We'll be seeing more of him, luckily for all you listeners out there. But I've seen him today at training. He's absolutely fine. Put my eye around him just to check in on him, but he's absolutely good as gold. And, you know, we're going to catch up with him. So make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, get subscription. You'll get notified when we sit down with Coley and we chat all things England and talk about that decision. So that will come to you very, very soon. Now, in other omissions, which I'll just talk about on the back of the Sheriff, is, of course, Bath fans. What's your opinion? Ben Spencer, like the guy had 2 starts in the autumn and then unfortunately England didn't get the results, and I felt like he was almost like the guy that kind of a bit of a scapegoat. So he missed out on the remaining 2 games. He's not made the squad. In my opinion, being a scrum half, he's been pivotal to Bath's success. When you think of Finn Russell and what he's brought, yes, he has been very important, but so much of it comes from Ben on the inside and what he brings. So Bath fans, if you're out there, comment below, what do you think to that? You'd also say Rafi Quirk, who's just found some form, just come back. Now, I know he's got a tiny little quad tear. I believe he's due to be fit this weekend. He's someone that started sharp. Now, I'm not saying about the other 9s, but what I am saying is suddenly England have a bit of a headache with how many 9s there is to choose from. So when I look at that, I think Mitchell's the front runner, of course. And then you look at JVP and you look at Harry Randall. And those guys, I think, are going to battle out definitely between who comes in on the bench. But Bath fans, I'd love to know what you think, because I think Ben Spencer's been a really, really good form 9 for a long time now. And given the autumn, I feel like I'm not sure we'll see him again. I'm not writing him off, but it doesn't look necessary that we will at this stage, which is a shame. Now, moving on to Caden Murley. His guy has been very, very good for Quins for ages. In fact, we played against him in Big Game 16 a few weeks ago at Twickenham, and he ran a hell of a try in. The guy's electric and make things happen. So great to see him involved. There's been a lot of chat about getting him involved. He kind of reminds me of a bit of a Jack Noel in terms of he's quicker than Jack Noel, but what he has is a big, strong upper body. When you think of Jack, he was very strong in the tackle, sort of robust in terms of his ball carrying. And obviously with Manny Feo-Abosu out, who was also bringing a lot of power and a bit of evasion, certainly, Caden Murley seems like he's probably the perfect fit to come in and add a bit of, I suppose, carry power, but what he does also have is lightning gas. Now, someone that's missed out is my teammate, Ollie Hassell-Collins, who I think, again, comment below, let me know what you think, but I actually think he's been sensational this season for Leicester Tigers. I think he's been one of our main threats, scoring tries, being brilliant in the air, winning it back, looking for work. So another guy, England suddenly have a bit of a luxury on the wing as such. So, but great to see Murley involved. I feel sorry for Ollie Hassell-Collins. I felt like he'd probably done enough to get himself involved in the squad. So I'm gutted for my teammate there. A man that I'm delighted to see in the squad is Tom Willis. He has had a great season so far for Saracens. At times, he's been like a one-man wrecking ball, picking around the ruck, making things happen, offloading, getting you over the gain line when he has no right to do so, like a genuine tackle breaker. And I think England maybe lacked that a little bit in the autumn, so it's great to see him involved. Now, for me, I'd love to see him given a go from the off as an 8. I don't necessarily know if he's an impact player, but we could see. We'll wait and see. But I just think like he's been in that good a form. I just want him to be given the reins so he can go after it and perform like he has been for Saracens. So great to see him involved. Of course, you've got the Curry brothers in there. Benno could also shift to 7 if needs be. So the Chandler Cunningham South at 6 as well. Not to mention Ollie Chesham's back in there. There was a lot of chat that he could potentially be in the 6 during the autumn. No one really sort of nailed that 6 role. Chandler had some nice moments, but would we see Chesham at 6? Potentially. So suddenly the back row looks a little bit different. Maro's obviously guaranteed to play 80. So is it with George Martin next to him? Is it with Ollie Chesham next to him? Or is it with George and Ollie with 6? So the debate of the back row is going to be really fascinating, how they load up on that bench. Finally brings me to Oscar Beard, who is uncapped, but of course playing for Quins, playing very, very well. Is he going to get ahead of Slade and Ollie Lawrence? I'll be surprised if I'm honest. I think they'll stick with that partnership. And of course, Joe Hayes, who comes in, who's been playing very, very well for Leicester, been knocking at the door arguably for a long old time now. So he slots in there as well. So Asher comes in as well, of course, as the other tight head. And Will Stewart will, I'm sure, continue to be the starter. So a little bit of a battle going on there, who comes on back end of the game. But overall, I want to say congratulations to all who's been selected. Well done, guys. Have an amazing and successful Six Nations. So there we go. That is my take on it. Thanks so much. Please comment below, get involved, subscribe, so you'll be notified. You'll never miss an episode, because I'll be sitting down with Coley. We'll be going through his situation, and that'll be exclusive with us. And of course, we've got a huge preview episode dropping on Monday, so don't miss it. By subscribing, you'll be notified and you won't miss an episode, as we look forward to covering all the Six Nations, and we can't wait to take you along with us.